Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. Thank you for joining me again for another live Q&A session here on my channel. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Angela. I am a full-time voiceover artist and audiobook narrator, and my channel is dedicated to those of you just getting started on this wonderful world of in this wonderful world of voiceover and audiobook narration. And through my channel, I share with you tips, tricks, techniques, things that I do every day in my own voiceover business, and then we get together in these weekly chats to talk about a topic or two and share insights and all the fun things. If you're not new here, then you know every week we have a new poll. And this week, the poll is, we're talking about marketing. Cold emails versus social media. Which is the better way? So this week's poll, to get your poll responses in, is which way of marketing do you like best, or which way works best for you? And looks like we've got about 18 votes so far. Majority of you said social posts or content, 56% of you. 16% of you said cold emails or DMs. Interesting. 11% of you said paid ads or directories. And then 16% of you said word of mouth only. Interesting. So I have to ask, is it because you've tried all of those different I have to assume that you've tried all of those and your response is what works best for you, perhaps? Or maybe that's all that you've tried. Either way. Share with us your secret sauce, what works for you and why, because that's what we're talking about today. Trying to give anybody watching some ideas. I'm going to share with you my perspectives and what I have found, but if you're watching, as you know, this is a community, so share your insights, share what works best for you. As far as we all know, cold emails, email marketing, that has been the way for a long, long time. But with the rise of all the different social media platforms, it's where people connect, right? It's where people socialized. Social media platform. And now that businesses are on them, there's a lot of freelance businesses, small, medium, large businesses, individuals who are in marketing positions in these. Point is, everybody is on some social media platform or another. And I have to say, my opinion, that's one of the better ways to market yourself. I wrote down some notes. Why social media works, I think. The pros. Let's just start with the pros of social media marketing. It builds a warmer lead because they can see you interact with your content. They can see stuff that you've posted, and the best of all, they can hear you. They know what you sound like. They can hear what you sound like before they contact you. You can also post work that you've done on social media, as long as you have the client's permission, of course. So it's the best way for a client to get to know you, get to hear you, get to see samples of your portfolio if you're posting stuff that you've done, right? It's the easiest way to do that. And then also, as I always say, if you are posting, promoting your business on social media, to also post content that is personal, a little bit about you, right? It doesn't all have to be voiceover content. That's a question I get a lot. What do I post? Post a little bit about yourself, your dogs, your animals, your studio mascots, right? Things that are going on every day in your own personal life, as much as you are comfortable sharing. Because, that's just another way for people to get to know you and see that you are a real person. They can relate to you. Maybe you guys would have common interests, right? And the scalability of social media is huge. once you start posting content and making connections and networking, not only with these businesses, these individuals, but with other voice actors and audiobook narrators, you're now reaching further into the interwebs with the connections of these other people, because you'll be suggested, right? Also, the networking with other voice actors and audiobook narrators gives you the ability to be visible to them. So if they need someone for a duel, a duet, right, they might recommend you to that client. Social media is huge for all those points. Let's see. Oh, that is one thing that I wanted to know. If you are posting on social media, don't limit it to just other voice actors. Research hashtags that have something to do with the people that we're looking for, our clientele, which really could be anyone, anywhere, right? Because voice actors are valuable to businesses in many different ways. If you think about promotion for them, commercial work, user-generated content for their businesses, social media ads, right? IVR, which is their phone greetings. There could be how-tos, tutorials, walkthroughs. There's a lot of different ways a voice actor can be beneficial to a business of any size. So don't be just targeting other voice actors and audiobook narrators. Call to action. Including some sort of a call to action when you're creating a post on social media that is strictly for promoting your business. Make sure that you mention how to contact you. If you're available, get your spot on my books. Let's go. Contact me, right? Sometimes you have to tell them, I'm ready. Let's go, right? Oh, also followers. A lot of people on social media are focused more on the number of followers they have. It doesn't really matter. You want to be more focused on who you can reach, right? That's social media for business is sort of the other way. Targeting who you can reach versus how many followers you have if you're promoting for your business. Now, if we're talking about the pros of emailing, let's see. You can do the targeting for cold emailing instead of waiting on the algorithms to drop your content onto their page. You can be more targeted up front with cold emailing and target those directly. But with cold emailing, I wouldn't even say cold, but I would recommend researching the people that you are intending to reach out to, learn a little bit about them. The business, right? At least go to their website. If that is how you're targeting, that's the best way to do it, is to Google businesses that you want to target. And then look at some of the work that they've done. Ask them if they use inside or in-house talent or if they hire freelancers. And then when you're looking around their website, if there's something that catches your eye or something that, like a talking point, you want to mention, hey, I saw this video, I thought that was great, and, I think my voice could be great for something like this, right? Show them that you've spent some time, that you've invested a little bit of time in learning more about their business. It's just that personal touch. It shows a level of professionalism, right? Your subject line is something that's going to be important. It has to be something that is eye-catching, dare I say, memorable, right? I think, like I wrote down a pro narrator for your next ad, something like that, that would get somebody's attention, not just, hey, I need work, please help me, right? Something that's customer focused. Let me help you solve your problem, right? That is your focus for cold emailing. And then following up is always going to be key. But I would definitely not create generic emails and then just kind of shotgun them out, copy and paste. I would take the time to personalize your emails a little bit for each business, and then attaching a small sample or demo. You could even include your social media links to add a little bit of credibility so they can see that you are an actual person and not a spammer, scammer. And then a link to your website. What else did I get all my points in there? But again, if you have a better way of, or a preferred way of marketing, then please share that in the chat. This is all about helping each other, so share your insights. I'm just making sure that I touched on everything that I wanted to touch on as far as those go. If you have any questions about anything that I've said or want to add anything to it, then please do that in the chat. So we'll go over to the chat now. Just checking out the poll, it still looks like social media is the winner there. Close second is cold email. So good. I'm glad that we're talking about this. And the same points for cold emails could go with DMs on social media, right? Reaching out to companies, people, individuals on social media as a cold DM, which makes it easy for them just to click on your profile and go and look at all of your stuff. So that makes sense, right? All right, let's go over to the comments and see who's here, who's got questions, who's got insights to share. Who was first in? Paul was first in. Hey, Paul. Good day, Angela et al. From a warm and pleasant Dunmow, UK. I've not answered today's poll as my marketing is almost non-existent. Hoping to get some pointers today. Well, good. I think from my own perspective, especially when you're first getting started out, everything is just overwhelming. There's a lot to do, not only and learn, lots of learning curves, not only in just learning the business of voiceover, but then also the marketing aspect. Everything is very overwhelming and you don't quite know where to start. But it is important that once you have the foundation of your business set up, meaning you have your website, which I highly recommend having that website done before you start marketing, because it is your digital home base. It is where clients can find you online and learn more about you, contact you, so on and so forth. That is where you want to direct your traffic, right? So you want to have your website done, and then you have some way to invoice clients to collect payment. You have that done. You have some decent demos done so they can hear you, or you can supply one if you're asked for one. You have all of those basic things done. Now is the time to start marketing, right? And it is a little bit overwhelming. It's a little bit daunting. It's terrifying for some, but it doesn't have to be. You're just making connections. Because, and I've heard some people say this, but like as soon as you build the website, people are going to come running to it and knocking down your door. The harsh reality is that nobody knows that you're there. It's not like everybody in the world gets an email and saying, hey, this person has finally created their website. Let's go hire them. Nobody knows that you're there. You're a singular web page in a sea of billions of web pages. So how do you get traffic? By marketing. You have to tell the world where to find you, what you sound like, and where to hire you. So that is where the marketing comes in. It's the nature of the beast. If you're going to have a business, you have to get into marketing in some way, shape, or form. And I think depending on which way you want to go, cold emailing and social media are probably the two best ways, with social media, I think, being the easiest, fastest way to do that. And for the most part, people are creating social media content anyway. So why not incorporate just at least a call to action, you know? You guys, this is what I do. This is maybe a booth tour. This is my booth. This is what I do. Drop me a DM. I'm available now, right? At the very least. Super simple. And it doesn't even have to have your face. It could just be a static image of, or just a video of your studio space and you talking or something, you know? Caesar's here. Good morning, Caesar. Or good, be good evening for you, wouldn't it? Oh, hi, Angela. I've had fun finding auditions through social media. It allows me to not just showcase my ability, but also interact with the rights holder. My personality and humor helps nail the part. Yes, you have a very, what's the word I want to use? I don't know. I'll come back to it. But yes, you are, have a very memorable personality. Ken says, marketing? You mean we can get paid to do this? Maybe someday, fingers crossed. All right, Ken, let me tell you rule number 1 in the Platinum group. No stinking thinking. You want to add a yes, you will get. There's no fingers crossed that it is a yes, it will. It is a, or maybe I haven't started marketing yet, right? No stinking thinking, Ken. But yes. Caesar says, good online presence also means authors often come to me directly with an offer to narrate a book, so that also helps. It also helps me to have some way of standing out, humor, dramatic flair, etc. That said, hello everyone. Just won my first $300 per finished hour book, and I'm stoked. You should be. It was through Ahab. I was told it was the audiobook platform of a big publisher, Random Penguins or something. That's cool. Congratulations, Caesar. I can't say I'm surprised. Paul says, Caesar, well done. Katya says, yeah, Caesar, that's inspiring. Hello, everyone. Kat says, hiya. I haven't started marketing yet. However, I'm getting some of my gear this week. Congrats, Caesar. Be sure to post pictures and let us know what you got in our group Discord. We'd like to see. We're all gearheads, and New Gear Day is always a day to celebrate. And I have to leave early, so I'll say goodbye. Well, hopefully, I have like a hair stuck to my face. So hopefully you watch this in the replay, but definitely share pictures. Kat. Carol is here. Hey, Carol. Congrats, Caesar. Good morning, everyone. Kay last name says, hi, Angela and everyone. Question. When I register for ACX, Fiverr, or Upwork, can I edit my name to a business name later? I know you said to register earlier than later. I feel stuck right now. What I would do if you have not registered for any of these, I would say think long and hard about how you want to be known. If you're going to use your name, if you're going to use a stage name, if you're going to use a business name, or what name you're going to be known by, basically. Because Fiverr, for sure, you cannot change your username after you've already established it. You can change everything else on Fiverr apart from your username. You cannot change it. Although they did integrate a nickname sort of a thing not too long ago, but the username you cannot change. Upwork, I'm not 100% sure. I don't remember if you can change it on Upwork or not. I want to say you can, but I'm not 100% sure. Please double check before you do. ACX, I'm pretty sure you can too. The only thing you have to remember with that is that, all of them do have tax paperwork that you have to be mindful of. So I would say before you register with any site, think long and hard on how you want to be known, and then use that. But if it's going to be a stage name, just keep in mind, again, that there's going to be tax paperwork associated. So make sure that, names match and all the things. And then also that same name, you want that same name that you use, for example, on Fiverr, your username, you want that to be searchable. And you want that to lead them to your website. If they do, in fact, intend on searching you. Because people do. I've had numerous people that have found me on Fiverr have Googled my username, VoiceOver Angela, and found voiceoverangela.com and have discovered that I am, in fact, a real person and that I do, in fact, have a presence and I'm established and all the things. So you want to use the same identifier name across all platforms. And then also in your website, right? You want people to be able to find you as easily as possible. So on that same note, you want to use that same name, preferably on social media as well. You want to be known as the same thing everywhere. So you're easily findable, searchable, discoverable, hireable, right? Pam says, congrats, Caesar, and good morning all from sunny Northwest Washington. It is definitely sunny here in Arizona, too. It's like 95 degrees and 9 o'clock in the morning. Rebecca's here. Hey, Rebecca. I hope your AC got fixed. Or you got evicted the wasps. Happy Tuesday, Angela and all. Social media has been my preferred way of marketing. It also gives options for links to add to any cold emails I do send out. That's a good idea. I think that's something you should be doing. I think with any kind of correspondence, not only your email address, but also your social media platform handles, because that is I see that more and more, where people, instead of asking for your website address, they'll ask for your IG, or they'll ask for your TikTok, right? That is the preferred way of communication I'm seeing more and more of. So adding your social media handles is something that we should be doing along with the website, or maybe instead of. I'm not sure. What do you guys think about that? Lisa's here. Hey, Lisa. Good morning, all. Congratulations, Caesar. I didn't answer the poll because my website is not up yet, and I don't have any other social media yet. And that's fine. If you're in Lisa's position and you haven't started marketing yet, which one do you think that you would be the easiest for you to start? Which one do you think would be the easiest, or the way that the direction you're going to go is what I'm trying to say? Which is the direction that you plan to go once you have everything set up? My cup of tea says, howdy, y'all. Nice to finally be back to a live stream. Well, we're glad to have you. Welcome back, Abe Froman. Good morning, all. He's the sausage king of New York, of Chicago. Reading time with Poppy says, good morning, all. I have a lifelong hatred of social media, so it always burns to think using it may be the best, easiest path. I'll get over it, maybe. I'm right there with you. I think there's Gen X and older. It's kind of like... okay, I'm glad to know I'm not the only one, but I was never one of those individuals who was like, here's my sandwich, this is what I ate today. I was never one of those people. Took a picture of it and posted on social. I was never one of those people. I'm a very private person for the most part, mostly because I'm a screaming introvert. You wouldn't guess that by having a YouTube channel, but I am. I'm very private. I don't share my life on social media, and I'm telling you to, but I know that I should. I know it works. I've seen it work over and over and over. But I mainly keep my social medias to business, but I should share more personal stuff. I just never really got into that, right? Sharing my personal life with the world. So I completely understand you, but I know that I should. And there are some things that we can share that aren't too personal, right? If you're like me and never really did that. You could do booth tours. You could, give a morning affirmation. You could, whatever you can think of that isn't too personal, but still sharing a little bit about your daily life, right? And show who you are as a person. But it is something that is definitely going to move business for you quickly if you get onto social media. Rebecca says, to Caesar, never doubted you could land that gig. Congrats. Yeah, never had a doubt. I mean, I think anything that Caesar puts his mind to, he could probably achieve. Should probably take that probably out. Because Caesar's just one of those. Rustic Hillbilly is here. Good morning to you. Thanks for joining. Alexandra says, many times authors want to see that you have some sort of a following on social media. And I think that comes from the need to market books. And I have heard that increasingly, that even though I said not to focus so much on having followers, I think it is important to authors because they are perhaps thinking about a royalty share or, I mean, marketing in general. They want to know that you have some sort of a marketability for the final product. So I can understand that. And not only that, the follower count indicates that you're not like, it's not like a burner account, right? It's not like a scam account that's got like 10 followers on it, right? Because that's usually how the scam pages look, is that they have very minimal followers. I guess it all depends on the purpose, right? So if you've got a couple hundred, a few thousand, Caesar says to Alexander, very true. I was passed over for a role once, and it went to someone with a TikTok fan club. He was later removed from the project, and I was hired, but I was second choice. Interesting. A fan club. I can see some audiobook narrators having a fan club, for sure. It's just weird to me having you know what I mean? A fan club. Weird. Michelle LW says, good morning from Southern Indiana. Good morning to you. I didn't vote because I haven't yet started marketing, but I'm thinking social media will be my preferred method based on previous business experience. Absolutely. I mean, I think you can get the most return on investment of time on social media. And for the most part, it's free unless you choose to promote and things. But it just costs you a little bit of time to create content. And if you're in the younger generations where you're creating and recording everything anyway, you could just take some of that small little snippets of video, 7-8 seconds, add some text to it, add your voice to it, and there you go. You got some content. And that's actually a great point, because I think content, from what I see, is, for the most part, if it's marketing type content, it's getting shorter and shorter. So not 15 seconds, not 30 seconds, but more like 7-8 seconds. Super short. So something to keep in mind. Rochelle says, good morning. I agree with social media, though I marked email cold call DM because that gets words out, that gets word out to closer, more intimate people and strangers I may meet. I think either way. I mean, why not both? Why not all of them? As a voice actor, as a business owner, you should be on all of the, pertinent directories anyway. All of the rosters that you can get onto, all of the, narrator directories, so on and so forth. All of the free profiles on pay-to-plays. I mean, why not be there? Be visible, cast a wider net, and then get out on social media. Well, I would say at the very least, have your website established, and then get onto social media, and then you can start finding all of these places to get to be listed on. But then eventually word of mouth will come too. Once you start to get clients and a book of clients, there will be referrals, there will be repeat business. I mean, it'll start to grow from there. But I think social marketing has the largest impact. But do all of them. Abby Book says, good morning. Happy to announce that I signed my first narration contract this morning. Congratulations. Happy we're on this topic today. I'm going to need advice. Well, I'm hoping something said so far has helped you. But congratulations. Definitely celebrate that. Celebrate today. Tanya's here. Evening all. Social media feels slightly less scary than some of the other options. They're all a bit people-y for me. Trying to find a balance between working and time-consuming marketing right now. Yeah, juggling all of these things when you're a sole proprietor, a sole business owner can be a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot to manage. Um, I mean, you always have the option of hiring someone to help you with social media content. There are, from my own experience, I've found a lot of great people on Fiverr at all different price points depending on what you want them to do. But there are people out there that can help you with the social media marketing that already know what to do to get to where you want to go. You just have to supply them with your your ideas, your goals, your the details of what you do, and then they can create your content. If you give them videos or something to take from, or just to create static images with music. I mean, they could do that too. You just tell them what your plans are, what your endeavors are, and they can create stuff and post it for you. So you have that option too. So then you can just focus on the work part. Ramos Radio Live says, just finished my first audiobook. Yay! And it's because of your motivation. Thank you. Oh, so glad to hear that. Congratulations. That's awesome. Are you going to share with us what it is so we can all go listen and support you? Because we do that. Community, support each other. Lisa says, can you or anyone in the chat recommend which payment option has worked best for you? As I'm building my website, this is an important part of my business. For me, I use PayPal Business, but there are also, there's Waves. Is it Wave or Waves? Wave, singular Wave. That's a invoicing platform. There's also QuickBooks. There's also some website domain hosts like Wix. They also have like invoicing programs. I use PayPal because it's accepted pretty much everywhere. And the invoices that I send my clients, they don't need a PayPal account to pay. They can pay it with a credit card, a debit card, whatever. So that's why I chose PayPal, because it's pretty much every platform that I work on accepts it. So as far as like transferring money. So that's why I use that, but there's a lot of different options. Jules is here. Hey, Jules. Sorry I'm late. We're making a pit stop. Currently in Louisiana, heading home with my new Studio Bricks booth. How exciting. Post pictures. Post pictures of your journey, Jules. Show us in Discord. I brought donuts for everyone. My girl remembered. If you're late to the live chat, you bring donuts. Rochelle says, awesome, Caesar. Tanya says, congrats, Caesar. And all the first-time VOs. Yes, absolutely. Ken says, yes. I will get financial remuneration in the near future. Confidence is high for my financial future. Good. Positive. We're always thinking positive here. Mindset shift. Caesar says, Jules, we're still happy for you. Still? So? What do you mean? Of course we're happy. We're still happy for you. Gregory says, hello there, Angelalas and Angelalalos. That was fun. Going live is good as a marketing tool. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok lend themselves for this. Clips can be used on X and or Threads. Yes, going live on these platforms is, I think, huge. I've seen a number of mentees that I've suggested this to, namely on TikTok, that have done extremely well with this. If you have a book that you're narrating, shoot your rights holder a message and say, hey, I have the ability to go live on whatever platform you're using, TikTok in this instance. Do you mind? I mean, as long as it doesn't, the content that you're reading doesn't violate TikTok's guidelines, then go live recording this book and going through the editing process, the punch and roll, whatever you're doing, because it allows people to not only see you, but to see the process. So you're inspiring new audiobook narrators and voice actors. You're interacting with them. You're getting views from authors, publishers, right? I had just one in particular. I had one that I suggested this to years ago. I think 3 years, perhaps. And now she's working with major publishers in just 3 years, and just from going live on TikTok. So it's definitely something that I need to do more of, but it's great marketing for the book too. It creates a little bit of hype for the book coming out, and hopefully it'll help sales when it's completed for the author and for you. Especially good if it's a royalty share book. Thank you, Gregory, for bringing that up. K last name says thank you. Rebecca said, thanks, Angela. Wasps are dead and or dying, and I have AC again. I've been enjoying the cool air and haven't updated the socials yet. Good. I'm glad to hear it. I can't believe you're trying to remove a live wasp's nest from your AC unit. Oh, my God. Or that they didn't get into the vents. Oh, my God. Could you imagine? Cindy Byrne says, this is my first time here. Welcome, Cindy. I am at the beginning of narration, and your videos are absolutely the best. Oh, thank you. I'm glad they help. Kat says, you're still here? I thought you left. Gen X dislike of social media here, too. It's kind of a love-hate relationship, Social media can do so much good, but can also do... Yeah, we're not going there. Okay, Katya says, I have my professional singer website. Should my VO website be a separate entity? Some say having a platform for both can cause confusion. Not sure how I feel about that. I think it depends on what the other skill is. Although for singing, technically they're both voice, but it could cause confusion. Ultimately, my instincts say have a separate for both. So it's very clear, it's less options, right? Less ways to get sort of lost in the sauce, right? If someone was to Google you for voiceover services, and then they are distracted by the singing, and then they go, oh, well then, this is really cool, but, and then, I don't know. My instincts say just have two separate websites. And I'm trying to pump the brakes on a tangent there, but if money's tight and resources are tight and you have to have both on one for now, I'd at least have a clear delineation on your website of, voiceover work, singing work, right? So that way you want to have the least amount of steps to hire you as possible on your website. Right? So you don't want to make the client have to click a bunch of buttons to hire you. You want them to be able to hire you quickly. Because the more buttons they have to push, the less likely they're probably going to buy. So if they can hire you quickly for either or on your website, then it's probably fine for now. But I think at some point you should have a separate website for each. That's what my instincts say. Tanya says, congratulations, Caesar, and also all of the first-time VOs. Absolutely. Caesar says, don't you have a fan club, Angela? Not that I'm aware of. I think they're called Angela. Oh, I would love to have a fan club. We can call them the Caesareans. Oh, my God, that's hilarious. That's hilarious. Do I have a fan club? I don't know. It makes my inner introvert scream. Pardon me while I turn my air conditioner back on. It's getting warm in here. So it might get noisy, so sorry for the noise if you hear it. Although you guys told me you never hear it. I always hear it in playback, but it's getting warm. Thank you, Rebecca. No, Caesar, who's got the spray bottle. Cindy says, this is my first time here. I am just beginning narration of audiobooks and appreciate your videos. Well, good. I'm glad. And welcome to the audiobook narrator family. Reading Time with Poppy says, Angela, thank you as always for your advice and encouragement. Right now, I chuckle when you talk about sharing booth pics because my booth is a framed room and doubled layered, but where's the remainder? The inside is basically a coat closet with a laptop and mic and swords and dragon shelves. Dragon shelves? Part of me is tempted to start my social media presence by leaning into it. Announcer voice. Uh-oh, where's the rest? I don't see the rest. I'll have to come back to it. I would say if your booth isn't share-worthy for whatever reason, if you don't think it's anything interesting, focus on your equipment. I would say pick a piece of your studio where you can aim the camera so that the backdrop is relatively decent, decorated a little bit, kind of like what you're looking at behind me here. Because my booth isn't anything to look at either. I mean, it's a small little like 5x6 storage closet thing that's in my home. I don't even know what the original purpose of this room is, but it just worked out to be a perfect little booth for me. And what you're seeing behind me is really the only, it's not packed with something like a monitor or wires or something. So just pick a section of your booth that is a nice enough backdrop and then use that for your videos, right? If you're maybe not a booth tour, if you don't think that your booth is show worthy at the moment, and that's okay. Again, it doesn't have to be pretty, your booth. It just has to sound good. But if you don't want to share it, that's fine. Just, talk about your equipment perhaps. Or, a little bit of time behind the mic. Something. Think of something. But don't let, one little letback or setback. Letback? Oh, made a new word. Setback hold you back. Right? Just think of something new. Think outside the box. David says hello from Hamilton, Ontario. Hello to you, David. Welcome. Welcome. Alicia's here. Hi, everyone. In all caps, she's shouting. Good morning, Alicia. No need to shout. It's morning. Tranquilo. Joy is here. Hey, Joy. Hello, everyone from Southfield, Michigan. I agree with the website first. I hope you all like strawberry cheesecake donuts. Good Lord, Joy. I'm getting better learning Reaper so that I can get that first book deal. Yes, ma'am. And learning your DAW, to her point, is super important. I mean, you don't have to know it like the back of your hand to get started. You just need to know the basics. You need to know only what you need to know at the very start. In terms of where the record button is, how to stop, how to edit, and then the effects that you may need. But you don't need to know every single function of your DAW to get started. So don't let that hold you back either. The learning and the knowledge, the in-depth knowledge of your DAW will come with time. It'll come with the doing. So just learn the basics. Don't be afraid to get in there and try a few things. Because again, the doing, you'll learn so much more from the actual doing of anything you do than just reading about it. You have to get hands-on. You have to try it yourself and manipulate it. Try different things. You'll learn so much more that way. Trust me. Caesar says, I think now is a good time to mention that my lunch will not be a banana with peanut butter and mayo. I hope not. It just doesn't sound appetizing. It doesn't. Does not sound appetizing. Voiceover Van Deen, how are you? I haven't seen you in a while. For corporate commercial, I still like a phone call introduction best. At least when I can track down a phone number. It's an instant audition if you get through to the decision maker. I imagine that would be hard to do these days, to be honest. Because phones, if someone comes through that I don't know, when I was employed working for someone else, actually no, even now, if a number comes through my phone that I don't already know, I'm not answering it. Because there's just too many dang scammers out there trying to, pull one over on you. So I don't know, but that still works for you, that's fantastic. So that's still something that is done. And for those of you that don't want to do social media or don't want to do the email, you could always try to call someone. Just keep in mind, You might not directly get through to them every time. You're going to have a lot of people trying to, like a receptionist or an assistant, or there might be several people that you need to talk to before you get to the person that you're looking for. And then I also find that on websites anymore, when you're looking for information about a business to contact them, there's no phone numbers listed. You might have to Google them to get that information, right? The address, the phone number. But yeah, I mean, if that still works, that's good to know. That works for you. I don't know if I could do it as a crazy introvert. I just cringe at the thought. Rebecca says to Gregory, you're right. You're right. I know you're right. It's still scary to go live on TikTok. I did it once to support some authors and was crazy nervous the whole time. It is daunting to go live, for sure. But it's fun because you don't know what's going to happen, right? Just like I am right now. I'm talking to 46 people. And you guys are all staring at me, and it's kind of weird feeling. But I know that what I'm doing is, helping the community, right? So if you think about it that way, you're creating community, you're interacting with other people who are either interested in what you're saying or doing, or want to support you, want to learn more about you, want to connect with you. So you have to think about it kind of that way, but it is still a little bit scary. So I totally understand that. You didn't know it was a live nest. Insane. You're a tough cookie, Rebecca. Maddie is here. Hey, Maddie. Is it common to start with a PayPal individual account when you're a beginner? I did. I started with a personal PayPal account to start getting into the habit of having to separating business from personal stuff. I used it sort of like a business account, like a business checking account to start, just so I was separating, personal Angela to business Angela, right? And then eventually I turned it into a PayPal business account, which had all the business functionality and the invoices. So that's exactly what I did. Caesar says to Katya, I've had a talk with someone who does both singing and voice work and suggested having a portal or landing page which can take you to one or the other. Like a split screen. If you guys have seen my website, that's kind of what I do, because I offer both services. I offer services for mentorship and coaching, training, voice actors, audiobook narrators, and then there's the other side where I'm a voice actor and audiobook narrator. And so at the home page, you kind of go, okay, which way do you want to go? Click a button. Do you want to go to the training side, or do you want to go to the services side? And then from there, it takes you to a different landing page with other options. Joy says to Caesar, my mom used to snack on banana, peanut butter, and mayo, but I just couldn't bring myself to try it. I mean, it could be delicious. It could be delicious. You never know. You guys have ever tried to make a grilled cheese sandwich with mayo instead of butter when you grill it? Sounds weird, right? But it makes for a crispy crust. It's delicious. So you never know unless you try. Caesar says it's also economical in terms of having one host and one domain in lieu of two domains and two hosts. That's true. But it has to be done correctly. Also, it can be beneficial to clients to know you're multi-talented. Great point also. Rochelle says, hilarious, Caesar. Ken says the Caesarians. That would be a real cut-up group. I see what you did there. We got some comedians in the chat. Paul says, sorry to be the one, but I can hear your AC. That's fine. I mean, everybody always says I don't hear anything. I know I can. I can hear it. Right. But Poppy says, coming to you from the professional VO code closet. Oh no. We need a no Ken. We need a no Caesar and a no Ken. That's funny. That's okay. We like comedy. Don't apologize. It's funny. Ramos says it's pending ACX for the 10-day wait. Okay, so it's in QA. It's called Criminal Hearts, a Bonnie and Clyde story. Wow, that's awesome. So everybody check that out when it comes out. Give it a couple weeks for it to be live, and then go check it out and support Ramos Radio Live. Caesar says, I might know a thing or two about working a DAW. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Voiceover Van Deen says, even if I get sent a voicemail, I'll always leave a message introducing myself and saying I'm sending them an email. Great. It's another little tickle teaser for them to open it and read or listen. I like it. I like that. I like that, Voiceover Van Deen. Thank you for sharing. It's more of a personal touch. I like that. Gregory says, reading time with Poppy, I go live in what I call the sound closet, the walk-in closet in my apartment. And to Rebecca, you just do like Angela says. You're the king, queen of your domain. Joy says, Angela, believe me, I've been trying it, but my biggest problem is in the editing. Unlike Audacity, where I can punch and roll, I have to split, control, and backspace in the same time selection. Oh, you mean in Reaper? I don't know much about Reaper. I've never used Reaper. I've only used Audacity and Audition. So I don't understand the struggle, but I know that learning a DAW can be a struggle, especially when you switch from one to another. Because the functions and the terminology could be just a little bit different. So it's sort of like unlearning what you just spent all the time learning, just to unlearn it or to try to. It's almost like learning a new language. When you're learning Spanish and then now you have to learn, Italian, which is close but just a little different, right? It's like, I get it. It takes time. But give yourself some grace, Joy, and take the time that you need to learn it, because it is an important step. It is an important step. So just, it's okay. There's no like rush to a finish line here. It's going to take the time it's going to take, and that's okay. Oops, I clicked the wrong one. Andrew says, hi, Angela. Hi, Andrew. Where have you been? Is anybody using snail mail, or is that only for dinosaurs? Snail mail is exactly what I'm talking about. Or no. You mean like post mail. I don't see why you couldn't, especially if you join, when we're talking about like directories and things, that also includes your, oh my God, I just was going to say it and then it's gone. Your Chamber of Commerce. Thank you, brain. Chamber of Commerce, like there's usually directories that are sent out via post, right? That you can, or advertise through. I would say it would behoove you to send snail mail, like post mail, if you're targeting specific businesses. Otherwise, it could get pretty pricey, right? I think if you can laser target a goal and a demographic or a group, or have a targeted list, it could be beneficial. But I think social media, if you think about the younger generation, are now moving into these positions where they are hiring, they are casting, they are the ones that are making these decisions. So you want to target them, and where are their eyes? Social media. Right? That's kind of how I see it. But incorporating all of these different ways to market is not a bad thing. I think if money's tight, capital's tight, you need to be very laser focused on who you're targeting and, do some testing. See what works, what doesn't. But I'm not saying all at once either. You could try different ways of marketing and see what works best for you and what you're offering and who you're offering it to. Right? Try some different things. But no, I don't think it's just for us dinosaurs. It might just work. Voiceover Van Deen says to Spicy Caesar, banana, peanut butter, and chocolate. Or like a hazelnut spread, like Nutella. But I'll try the mayo just to see what I think, and I'll let you know. Oh my God. Banana, peanut butter, and mayo. I don't know. Gregory says, don't forget to like this by hitting the thumbs up. Algo needs to be fed. Yes, please feed the algorithm, God. Do all the YouTubey things. I appreciate you guys. If you're watching this in Team Replay, hit the subscribe, the notification, the thumbs up button, do all the stuff. Please. No, hold the mayo. Caesar says to Joy, try hitting up Chad Fox Damon Knight in our Discord. He does punch and roll in Reaper. He's also an actual sound engineer. There you go. Joy says, LOL, I'll get there. Any Reaper people in the house? Yes, with post. Yes, snail mail with post. Yeah. I'm with you. Caesar says, I tried using a snail for mail once. 3 years later, it came back and told me it lost between Figaro and Fifth. Katya says to Caesar and me, thank you for your great advice. I'll look into the functionality of having a landing page. You know, and Caesar and I are going to say this at the same time. We have some web developers within our midst. Caesar is a website developer. So hit up Caesar. For those of you in my Platinum group, check out Caesar and inquire about your website needs. As we all know, for those of us that have we're in that group session we did where we were reviewing our business website. So the ones that Caesar had developed were excellent. Joy says, Brain? Egads, where's Pinky? Oh, yeah. I met him a year ago at the Metro Comic Con. That's funny. Abby Book says, maybe a stupid question, but do you have to be a premium member to get into the Discord? The Discord that we're talking about is for my Platinum group. Yes, so you have to be a Platinum group member to be in our Discord. Yes, it is one of the perks of being a Platinum member, but Platinum membership's $20. It's $20 a month. I don't charge crazy prices for anything. It's not about the money for me. It's just to keep everything running. But the Discord is worth 5 times that, what goes on in our Discord. So, but yes, you do have to be a Platinum member for our Discord. Musical Crafts with Miss Juliet says, hello, I'm new here. I am interested in advertising and auditioning for singing animation. Do you have any suggestions? For singing animation. You know, that's funny because I get a lot of auditions that do ask for, maybe not a lot, but every once in a while I'll get, they'll ask if you can carry a tune, and I have to say, sadly, no. But it would be nice to, if, you were networking, if I had known, this would be a prime opportunity for me to say, I don't, but I know someone who does, and then send them your information. Another reason that's important to get on social media and start networking with other voice actors, narrators, so that sort of thing can happen. But a lot of times in audiobooks, there will be portions of the book where the characters are singing a tune or something like that. Children's books, they could be singing something. So it does come up more than you would think. I would definitely make that a skill set that you highlight on your website, in your profiles, like that. If you were talking about Fiverr, Upwork, I would have samples where you showcase a little bit of the singing within the narration to showcase that talent. For sure. Carol says, grew up on peanut butter, mayonnaise, and lettuce sandwiches. Peanut butter, mayonnaise, and lettuce? Interesting. Joy says, thanks, Caesar. Ken says, and it's well worth it. And then Caesar says, shameless plug, join Angela's Platinum Discord. It's a friendly, collaborative, educational, and pants are optional. Mainly for Caesar. Mainly for Caesar. But I see Caesar's point. I mean, you only see this, this much of someone when somebody's live or in our group sessions, or cameras are off altogether. So you never know what people are wearing. Which is kind of a scary thing when you think about it. But I think that's pretty much it for today. I'm hoping that something said today helped you move forward with one of these different directions and to sort of open your eyes to what is possible. There are a lot of different ways that you can market yourself as a business owner, but Of course, today we're talking about email and social media, but again, you have to think about when you're thinking about coming up with your marketing plan, you want to think about who your targets are, right? What is it that you want to offer? Then who needs that offering? Who needs that service? Find those individuals online through Google, learn a little bit about them, and then either shoot them an email introducing yourself to them, coming to them to solve a problem they may have, and then also think about social media. Because social media, again, is one of the easiest and fastest ways to get visible to the people who are there. You want to go where the eyeballs are. So social media is one of the fastest, easiest ways to do that. But if there's something that you guys want to talk about in a future live chat, or if you want to see a video, I can create a video on something that you want to learn more about or want me to break down, or instructional how-to tutorials. As you know, I've got a ton of videos here on my channel and different playlists. But if there's something particular that you want to see more about, please just let me know. Drop it in the comments. Be sure to subscribe, like, share, all the buttons and things. Hang on, we got a couple more comments and then we'll wrap this up. Carol says, I did my first TikTok post and my followers are growing. My author tagged me and felt I should respond. It was a bit scary, but seeing the results has inspired me to keep going. That's great. That's awesome. Rebecca says, I know Rebecca's on TikTok too. Access to Angela's Platinum group has paid for itself several times over in just the few months I've been a member. I love the community. Come join us. Oh, that was sweet of you, Rebecca. That's awesome. Thank you so much for that. And with that, I'm going to wrap this one up. So again, let me know what you guys want to talk about. Go forth and market yourself in the way that you want to. Otherwise, I will see you all next Tuesday. And for those of you in my Platinum group, I will see you guys on Thursday. And if you're in Anthony Pica's Voiceover Journey Academy, I'll see you guys on Friday for the audiobook, the first session of our audiobook class. So I'll see you guys then. Bye.